Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. What episode are we at?
I don't know, 45?
Is it 45? I think
Six?
we're at 40.
40
Hey, it's
40
between
something.
45 to 48.
Yeah. I'm Brendan,
Still Jay?
and we have...
Jeff, Modern Watch Guy ATX.
See, that's who you guys knew. You didn't know Jeff.
Yeah, nobody knows Jeff.
You know Modern Watch Guy ATX.
Jeff's a sleepy name.
So
Nobody
why don't
knows
we
that.
give Modern Watch Guy ATX a proper introduction?
Yeah, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Jeff. I am Modern Watch Guy ATX. Just a big
On
collector
Instagram,
on
right?
Instagram and on TikTok.
You're on
Although,
TikTok?
yeah, well, I was. I've deleted it. I'm not really putting any new content up there. So just on Instagram and just a big collector and love sharing stuff and happy to be here.
And Modern Watch, is that like you're collecting Fitbits and Apple Watches? Or
Yeah, super into like digital things that count my steps. I like to know what my vitals are. It's kind of a silly name that one of those you could regret the name, but you grew too much.
Is most of your collection more of the modern
Yeah.
variety rather than...
Yeah,
Okay.
just not really a vintage guy.
Okay.
Yeah, because you want stuff that works.
Yeah, you want stuff that works and you don't have to worry about
Yeah,
whether
you
it's authentic or not.
You want
Yeah.
stuff,
Authentic.
you want stuff that works you could bring into the pool.
That's true.
Also true. Yeah. Oh, well,
Some basics,
get me
you know?
started and I'm going to get in trouble with the vintage collectors out there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, let's
It's funny
get
because,
that going.
hey, you know what? I was a vintage guy.
You are? I thought
I
you
was.
still are.
So
Are you not?
Not so much anymore. I've shifted into modern because I got tired of having to take my watch off when I have to work out, having to take it off when I have to shower, having to take it off when I have to jump in the pool. That's
Yeah. Well, and we're in the pool. I mean, around here in the summer and everything, you got to be in the pool.
You got to
in
be
order
ready
to
to jump in
cool
at any
off.
moment.
Yep.
So what's on the wrist right
Yeah,
now?
wrist
Let's
check,
do a little
wrist
wrist
check.
check, Jeff. What do you
All
got?
right. I'm wearing my Rolex Submariner No Date. And for me, this is the watch. I just think that the simplicity, the symmetry. So this was my 40th birthday present to myself. So it's got a special place for commemorating something, and it's just the watch.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Hey, you know, we're doing live real quick.
Oh, we are?
Check. So someone asked, is that modern watch guy?
ATX, yeah, it is.
Because
That's right.
I turned it on after we did the intro.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Hello. Sure is.
So we're
How about
live.
you, Bren? What are you wearing?
I got a brand new watch, the Formex Space Rock 41 carbon composite case with ceramic bezel and crown. This thing is amazing. The meteorite in it is 4.5 billion years old.
He didn't even get a discount.
Yeah, I paid full price for this thing. Wink, wink. But this thing it just slaps. It's modern, but also ancient, if you think about it. Maybe even older than our Earth. And it somehow went through all of the silent abyss of space and landed here.
Abyss. You know that word?
I looked that up.
I love it
That's a
when
beautiful
people
watch.
use big words, man.
That's a really cool watch.
Let me photosynthesize you guys my watch.
How old is yours?
This one is a Cartier Santos Medium. I forgot I had it. But now it's back on the wrist and it's not bad. I like it. I think like me and Jeff were talking about it earlier and how it's good because you could remove links no problem. And it's just so
The technology on
The
that
tech is
bracelet
there.
is amazing.
yeah.
And I love how it's
It's
a
a one
butterfly
piece.
clasp, but you can close it without having to worry about closing the one side first. You can just slap it in there.
Yep, that's what happens, dude. And the whole thing about it, I'm a fan. You know what I mean? So, anything happened lately, Bren? So let's catch up
Okay.
real quick.
Well, catch up with me. I just got back from Microlux Chicago. That was interesting. They had that shit in the mall, but it was like in a CB2. It was the weirdest thing. But it was good. I mean, a lot of, cool brands, a lot of cool people showed up. Rich is amazing. But it wasn't like it was like a high-end furniture shop. So me and Saul set up our little booth and had all the brands and people come by and talk with us and get on the podcast. That episode's going to come out. Actually, probably aired before this.
Yeah.
But we were in in like a display kitchen, and this is like a high-end kitchen, and you tap something and it comes out and hits you. So we're getting freaking thrown around back there like the whole time. And there's like tiles everywhere, and we're like, where are we right now?
Yeah, because they were at Microlux last week. For people that asked why I didn't go, It's because I didn't want to fucking go to Chicago.
Yeah, I will say the Austin Microlux, huge turnout compared to Chicago. Like Austin people
Give me
definitely
percentage.
turned up. Dude, I think if Austin was 100%, Microlux Chicago was like 20%.
No,
Yeah.
what?
It was a massive
Come on,
difference.
Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. Maybe
I'm
it was
born
too-
and raised in Chicago. I'm disappointed in my.
Oh, really? Damn. And it was in the mall. It was
Where
like
what mall was it?
900 Michigan Ave.
Oh, it was downtown.
Yeah. So it's like you get there, take a train, you know?
Yeah.
The parking kind of sucks if you had a...
But nobody would drive.
Yeah, no
Drugs
one
in
would drive.
Chicago.
Not downtown.
Yeah. So it was easy to get to. I don't know what happened. It was a little cold that weekend, maybe. I don't know. But
Yeah,
Chicago's
they're-
used to it.
They're used to that.
I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
plus we've seen Wind Up.
Yeah, wind up. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. But now wind up's this weekend. But I don't know if we're going to go.
I don't know if we're gonna go. So my son is going to prom in California because his girlfriend's in California. This kid's a freshman, by the way, and he's going to California tomorrow. Like I'm taking him. I thought I booked him like a 8 p.m. flight. And he's like, "Dad, you booked at 8 p.m."
Shit.
Now I have to go to the airport, and so he's gonna be there. Now me and Bren were talking. We're like, maybe we should
We should just go, dude.
like, just go for the weekend. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about
How about
that.
you, Jeff? Anything cool?
I don't know. The best part of that story was the face you made when you said he's a freshman. The pride right there of a freshman going to prom.
A prom?
That's my son.
That's actually a big pull.
Dating a senior.
See, I knew he wanted to go there.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, he's proud
There
of
was
his
more
boy.
that he
Proud
wanted
dad.
to- Yeah,
You know
you
what?
should
He actually worked for his ticket.
He did.
Go ahead.
There
He
you go.
pulled all the weeds in my yard.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's good. He's a hard worker. He's gonna go far.
Okay, next time he needs to go somewhere, I've got weeds as well. So
There you go,
send
Ryan.
him
You
on up
heard
to Round
that?
Rock.
Yeah.
You heard that. Closer to our house because I live up north.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect.
Anything
What's been
with you?
happening with you, Jeff?
You know, just living life. Just gosh, I don't even know. Just working and nothing major. Just kind of living the dream, I guess. Or the nightmares are dreams too. But
That's right.
whatever it is.
Hell yeah.
Well, so this episode is more of a collector's corner.
Collector's Corner.
Ooh.
The way you look at it, here, hold this. It's supposed to be like an ongoing series that we have where we have either a friend of the show or someone who is into collecting, kind of just kick back, you know what I mean, and just talk. And this one is we're gonna talk about some of the watches, and then we're gonna talk about you as a person, right? So let's start with the watches. So I know you brought like a roll there.
Yeah.
So what are some of the watches that are there?
Well, first I want to give a little shout out, if I could.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
Mirage Luxury Travel.
Thank you, Mirage Luxury Travel, for
love.
sponsoring the episode.
Thank you for
Right. I signed them up for it without them ever authorizing that. But I just love these guys. These guys,
Are they local?
no, they're out of California. Ralph, the CEO. It's just it's a very affordable, call it $60 roll. But yeah, absolutely. Each of the slots lock in.
It has a thing right here.
It's
where
got a
you can-
perfect place for pictures, right? You can kind of fold over the top and you can get a nice picture of the watches. But the cushions, the velvet on the inside's really nice, but they
Wait, this
lock
is $60
in.
bucks?
60,
no way.
65 on Amazon, yeah. So my thing is, I don't really like the ones that snap in.
Yeah.
These slide in.
Yeah, I can see. So,
And
it
so
not
they're-
only slides in, it has the spot for
Correct.
the roll
Correct.
itself to go in so you could take an actual fucking picture.
Correct. And the snapping in, Herc Alley does that, and they're good. They're great quality, but I just don't like that snapping in piece because if you don't quite get it right, they kind of the middle one is always the hardest one to kind of get snapped
Yeah,
in.
that's
It's
right.
just
Because it's two.
it's just kind of a pain in the butt. So I really like this, just the slide in feature.
Can I take it out?
Yeah, please. I have probably 3 of these Mirage. It's a standard gift for me for friends and stuff for birthdays and whatnot. But the thing I like, they have a 6-watch roll. I should have brought it for y'all. I didn't know we were gonna. It's gigantic. Is
it long or
It's
is
not
it-
any
it's like a
longer. It's
long-
the same length. No,
it's the same length.
It's a double row.
Yeah.
So it's like it's more tall.
It's like
than it
theater
is long.
seating.
Yes, yes.
It's like theater seating.
I have some pictures of it. So I have the
So I dig
6,
that.
And is
it's
the double 120 or is there's a discount if you get that many slots?
I don't think it's a double price. I think
So you
there's
get
like
a little,
yeah, it's like if you buy 5 for the price of 4 type
it's like an
thing.
Invicta type of thing. Buy 10 for the price of
Let me
one.
tell you though, actually, for what it is, I think the sliding design is better.
I do too.
and I do like that you're able to do this.
Yeah,
like
folding over the
it.
top so that you can kind of show the. I feel like this you could actually keep around if you're small collection 1 to 4 watches.
Yeah.
You could just have that and not even have a watch box and things like
I
that.
like the color. It's like a burgundy.
I do like it.
And I've beat this thing. This thing's gone on a lot of trips. I never go anywhere without one of them. I have 3 of their rolls. I have a 2-watch roll, a 3-watch roll, and a 6-watch roll. I've only used the 6 once because, gosh, I get nervous traveling with that many of my watches.
Let me
on
ask you a question. When you travel, do you bring all your box and papers with you?
No.
So that way, if you get
one
robbed,
of my luggage is just for that.
Yeah. Just in case you get robbed, you can say, "Hey, guy,
I have
here's
the box of
Yeah,
papers.
like I don't want you to get less value from what you're taking from me.
I do like that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
By the way, we're not actually sponsored by that. That's just a fucking.
Nor
cool
am I,
roll.
by the way.
Yeah,
I
no,
just actually like them.
that's what happens when you have a good product and you don't have to shill.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's a great.
It
Like I'll
speaks for
check them out.
itself.
I'll check them out.
Definitely. I love them, and they're great if you DM them. They're great, responsive, and
Where they? Do you know where they're based out of?
California.
California?
Did you not listen?
No.
Okay. So let me ask you a question, right? So okay, sorry. Before I ask you a question, I should talk about what watches are there.
Yeah,
so
I jumped into the roll and not the watches.
So go ahead.
So I thought about which watches to bring, and I was thinking, how do I wanted to bring watches because I knew what you said about the collector's corner is more about what's important. So each of them have a bit of a story for me. One, I said that what I wore is for my 40th birthday, so just kind of commemorating time, which is a big thing for me in collecting with my dad as well. And then the Aquaterra Seamaster, which was a gift from the founder of the company I was the CEO of that we sold, and the whole leadership team got one on the day we sold our company.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
So,
nice.
so we all have this same watch. Even the ladies on the team have the ladies' version of it. Just an awesome way to, we're all walking around the company that now we're a part of, and just see each other wearing it.
It's like a
really
members
cool.
only jacket.
Yeah, it kind of is like real subtle version. We've gone to meetings together, and there's people who are like, "Why do you all have the same watch?" It's really weird.
It's like
It's a cult or
it's
something.
real weird. What's going on?
me
here?
imagining it like they walk into the room like Shark Tank.
Yeah,
Except they all have fucking Omega Alcateras.
yeah, that's right. That's right. It's a subtle thing. And then the second one I brought was my Monaco, and I feel like I might be the only one still in on Tag Heuer, and I feel like there's certain parts of that, like the Monaco to me is just an iconic piece that has a spot in everyone's collection. And if there's a watch that you can spot from across a restaurant, it's the Monaco. I feel like everyone can see that from across the way. So I love it. I think it just has that great shine, that sunburst dial. Doesn't have market point in time for me other than I was in the islands, and I always buy a watch when I was in the islands. But I just love that watch.
There's a few of you guys who like Tag. Literally a few.
I don't know, man. Like, did you see the new launches of the new Carreras?
Isn't
The
there
39
one
millimeter
that was
Carreras?
like super expensive? There was one.
There's
that
one
was
Yeah.
There
There's
was
like
one
the
that was
$200,000 one.
$200,000.
That one, I'm not on board with that one. That's not where I'm going. At least I don't think they're getting everything right. I do think that they're doing some good things
I
again.
agree.
And then the last one I have is the Apollo 8 Speedmaster. We were talking earlier about like what is really a limited edition. I don't even think this was ever mentioned to be a limited edition, but it's probably one of the hardest to it's not the Snoopy by any means, but it's been a hard one to get. And our local guys at Corman told me that when I was just getting started, and I loved it from the get-go. And I'm super glad that they kind of influenced me to grab it when they had it. So I just love the details on it. How it's like on the back it says we'll see you on the other side. And everything that's just really involved in that.
Now Bren's
Yeah, now you
wrapping
wanna
it
see
so you
that.
can
Now,
check it
see, I
out.
heard the
So
story.
I mean, like, do you know, like the dial is
Wow.
ceramic dial,
Sick.
but it's been formed with lasers to be the contour of the moon, where it has a dial. Some of it's open dial, and then on the back it says "We'll see you on the other side," and it says the date of the mission. The loom on it is phenomenal. So I think that watch is so cool. All ceramic.
And this is the strap it came with?
That is the
This actually
OEM
a
strap, yeah.
Super sporty strap, man.
Yeah. It's a
This is
Speedmaster.
really
It's all
cool.
sport.
It's badass.
Yeah, I
I
love
like
that
that.
watch. It's a cool watch, and it's just you're not gonna show up with too many people wearing that.
Oh, this is rad.
And I don't even like Speedmasters.
You don't.
Sorry. I don't like it because of the Speedy Pro.
Okay.
It's because they like kind of sat on that laurel for far too long. I feel like the space is cool and all, but bro, come on.
Yeah.
Like, you know, liking space is not a personality trait unless you're like 4.
I don't know. So the first watch that got my dad to get out of Tag Heuer was the Moon watch, because my dad's like avid reader of space and stuff like that. And he also has the Bremont Stephen Hawking's edition.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. It's got actual pieces of Stephen Hawking's desk in the back, in the case back. It's cool.
I heard that guy partied with Jeffrey Epstein, though.
Oh,
I'm actually serious.
Are you serious?
He went
Really?
to his island, yeah. Yep.
Well,
He went to his island a few
What?
times.
it's nice to know his island was handicap accessible.
yeah.
I mean, Jeffrey thought of everything.
dude,
He
the
really
guy
thought of everything.
He
Like,
covered
how do you
all
get a
of his
wheelchair in here?
bases, dude.
Yeah. You know, the
Smart
thing,
guy.
this is so much easier to wind than my Sapphire Sandwich. Like the crown is
Yeah.
just bigger and easier.
Yeah, and for a 44
Great,
plus
man.
millimeter, it fits thin. I had one of the guys in the group put it on. He said, "This is a 44." He was shocked.
Yeah,
This is
that's
great.
surprising. Doesn't
This
look
is
like
awesome.
a 44.
It's an awesome watch. I love it. Thank you.
Doesn't look like
We have
44.
2 space watches.
We do.
Yeah, because of the Forumex, because it has a meteorite, but it never went. I guess. Yeah. Oh, okay.
When you put it on, it goes.
All right. So let me ask you now.
Yeah.
The question. So,
Yeah.
what was your first watch like, and what did it mean to you at the time?
Yeah. So, I mean, very first watch is really the first one I would say kind of got me going on it was a Bulova. And it was just on a cruise. My now wife, then girlfriend, was like, we were just kind of looking, the cruise ship pulls out all that kind of
That's
tier
right.
watches in the middle. And,
Yep.
as you're walking to dinner or whatever. And I just saw this brown Bulova that just looked amazing. And, it was just, all style. I'm much more of I like them for the style of them more than
Just
I'm
how they look.
a gear guy. Yeah. How they look and how they feel and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what got me going. And then it kind of just grew from there. Friends, start to watch guys find watch guys, right? It's weird.
Yeah.
And so I started to get into it, and I was definitely that guy that was like, I am never going to spend more than $200 on a watch.
All of us were at one point. I'm pretty sure.
And now there's a less than I would never spend.
Now you
More
get a
often
call.
more often than a more than.
You get the call. Hey, we have the Daytona ready.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. How cheap? That's such a bargain.
That's great. It's like, babe, I need to go right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the
It's like a
Pepsi call
fire
last
sale.
year.
So you still have that Bulova?
I do.
You do.
Oh yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah.
That's cool.
It doesn't get
Well,
wrist
obviously,
time.
right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a cool piece, and it's kind of one of those. I don't really trade out of much, especially at that lower end. Because what do you trade out of? Like, what am I
Yeah.
going to get for it? $50 at best.
Like
You might as well
couple
just
couple
hold it.
tacos,
Just
right?
hold
Just
on
hold
to-
on.
yeah,
to it.
It's worth
exactly.
more
Just
for the memories.
Give it to my daughter as she grows up,
That's
or something
cute.
like that.
So since you still have it, what does it have any significant meaning to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one is a lot about like the relationship. At the time, my wife and I were just dating. It was pretty early, so that kind of takes me back to that. And I've got another Bulova, kind of in that same similar time when my grandma died. That used the inheritance for that, and so just smart. Like they all have a little bit of significance. There's at least, if they weren't purchased for a significance, there was a significance that happened while I was wearing it. So
Hit him with the brand.
Okay. Speaking, it sounds like you have a pretty large collection.
yeah,
What
I
would
should be modern Bulova guy.
Yeah.
Because I actually have 3 of them. My wife gave me a Bulova for our wedding as well. So I've definitely
3 big Bulovas.
I have 3 of them. Yeah, I'm a big man. Yeah, exactly.
What's the most valuable wristwatch you've ever owned, and what made it special?
Valuable in money,
No.
monetarily,
Anything.
or to me. Well, if my wife's going to listen to this, I have to say that 3rd Bulova that she gave me on our wedding day, right? I think for me, it's either that one, because that, no matter what, that stays in the main box. It doesn't move off to like the boxes that are under the shelf or whatever. No matter what the price point or any of that kind of stuff, it comes out definitely on February 11th every year, and then some other times throughout the year. And it's a great
Like when you have
watch.
to apologize for her for doing something.
Yeah,
to,
yeah, exactly. Whenever I'm in the doghouse, which is frequent actually. And then, I think for me, the Submariner No Date is, I just love this thing. It's just the perfect
classic.
watch.
It's classic.
I think so. I think some people say, it's big or whatever. And I'm like, man, I like
I
it.
would just say
I
grow
love it.
up.
Yeah. Yeah, do some lifts.
Do some lifts.
Do
yeah.
some push-ups, dude.
And like, what's cool with that sub, right? It's like, or even with just Rolex, it's like synonymous to like value. So you could be in any part of the world and still get money out of that if you need to in an emergency. Like if you're in a pinch.
I mean, and I just think it's like how many dive watches have taken design elements from that since since
absolutely.
it was launched, right? So it's created its own kind of iconic nature just by nature of being perfection.
So how many watches do you have?
I think I have 28.
Honestly, I thought it would be more.
That's a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a little light, but no.
Jesus, dude.
But I don't trade out of watches. Like
you hold on to them.
I've only traded out of maybe 3 in my life, and even that feels painful to remember about.
What were they?
So one was my first Tudor. It was the Tudor S&G steel and gold with the distressed leather band, but the black dial, not the champagne dial. Yeah, it's a Black Bay 41 millimeter.
Okay.
Not the I only get issue with Tudor is they name everything the same freaking
Black Bay.
Yeah.
It's
There's
a Black
2 different
Bay.
Black Bay 41s. I'm talking about the Black Bay 41 millimeter, but it's the normal Black Bay dive watch, not the one that's not the one
I
to
think
smile.
I do know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
It's not the ETA.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Gotcha.
So, and then I traded out of a Carrera, Tag Heuer Carrera. Actually, combined the 2 of them for the Tudor Herods. It's the green.
Wow.
Black,
the green
Black
one.
Bay. Yeah. So I kind of said I'm not going to wear 2 of these exact same case Tudors. So I'm going to go with the green one that you can't get in the United States.
You can only get it at a grocery store.
Well, department store.
I
don't know what it
I know.
It's not at a bodega or at the bodegas.
Yeah, because before the show we went to the bodega near Brendan's house.
Awesome watch shop they have in there.
Yeah, classics in there.
You could buy your grocery there and a watch.
And like random home supplies.
Yeah.
And some boots. They had boots.
But they have a clothing section. That is true.
And some Old English.
Yeah, and some 40s.
So how would you say watches have played a role
in your daily
routine?
Oh, well, I mean, it's a part of what do I wear? It starts with the watch, and then everything else forms around
everyone.
that.
Oh, for real?
Oftentimes, yeah.
That's cool.
If I wake up and I have I'll look in the watch box, and some days I'll have like a real excitement. It kind of that's what gets my day going. Like I can't wait to wear my sub, or I can't wait to wear my Santos or something like that. And the Santos is just such a phenomenal fit. When you were doing your wrist check, I'm like, I think you're underselling that watch a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'm like
that watch is
underselling
awesome.
it. I think it's only because I've worn the Starbucks for like months straight. I think that's the only reason that I'm kind of underselling anything else that I own.
Yeah.
You're in that honeymoon phase still with that Starbucks, huh?
That's a long honeymoon too. That's pretty great.
But yeah, dude. Like most marriages don't even last that long.
Definitely not a Kardashian one. So So I think daily life. I'll wear more than one watch a day most days because I work from home now. I'm not. So I have the access to my watch box all day long. So I'm changing watches.
You just every
constantly.
like lunchtime.
Yep.
Time to change.
Yeah, just like
so you
get a feeling.
You do a lot of like consulting, business consulting.
Yep.
Do you find that watch, being in the watch culture, helps you do business in any way?
It doesn't help me do business, but it's nice to have something to talk about when you're having social time with a client, and you kind of get out from the normal, like talking about exactly what we're going to do on some sort of technology or something, and you just kind of start getting to social talk.
Yeah.
It makes it how many kids do you have?
Right?
Conversation so many times,
so
right?
Puts it in a different realm.
Yeah.
Any funny stories from that situation at all that you could share? Anything good?
It's funny, more often than not, it's later in my relationships with clients that now they come to me to help them figure out what watch they're going to get. And so it's not usually like in an early stage client relationship, but later, after they've now seen that, I come in 4 or 5 different times with them and wearing different watches, they start to ask questions.
Notice it, yeah.
And so I have a ton of friends and business clients that I'm kind of like their watch concierge.
So how much is your consulting rate for the watches?
Yeah, I'm really inexpensive. I'm too inexpensive on the watch side for sure.
Watch consultant. What do you tell them to buy? If I were to come to you, hey man, I want to get into watches. I have like, I don't know, $3,000. What should I buy?
Yeah. Well, I think what I really enjoy trying to like look at the person and figure out for them. Like, so a friend of mine, we were on vacation in the Bahamas just last month, and she was talking about how in her business group, everyone has a Rolex, and she should get a Rolex. And I said, that's not what you should get. You should get the Bulgari Serpenti. And
Did she get the Serpenti?
she's going to. She's
That's
not
a
yet.
cool pick.
That's such a fuck.
But I'm like
cool
that
pick.
because she wears a lot of arm jewelry. But she's not the lady. She's a very high fashion woman. She's not the woman that wants to wear exactly what everyone else has, but she wants to be on that level, right? And so that Bulgari to me was that is who she is.
The Serpenti is so.
It's cool. It's so
Also,
cool.
I feel like only most.
Yeah.
No. Like
Yeah.
seriously.
They'll like
You
check
gotta
you
have
off
a
the
vibe to
store.
wear. You gotta.
They won't
be
let
able
you
to
buy
rock
it unless
don't
you're
think-
sexy. They'll say nah. Get the
Yo,
Is
don't-
that why they wouldn't let me get it?
Yeah, man. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, dude. I tried too. They said no.
Hey, don't weight shame.
What?
Right.
How is that weight shame? You could be. I said sexy. You're the one drawing the dot
Hey.
connections
Hey,
there, buddy.
Bren, that's rude. I was eating a fucking honey bun. You're telling me that? Get real.
I did go into the Bulgari store in Chicago, and the solid gold Octofinissimo
Dude,
is
Jesus.
fucking
I love that.
sick.
Yeah.
Solid
It's
gold.
amazing.
Yeah,
It was amazing, dude.
I love the Octo. I will have one of those at some point.
It's great.
It's such a cool watch.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever saw one was at one of your meetups.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
the
yeah.
Formex one.
With Nan.
Yeah. And I was like, man, this is and then finally that started to have some in stores where you can check them
Mhm.
out, and they're cool as hell. And there's I like a lot of them.
I like them.
I
So
like 'em, yeah.
since we're talking about the personality kind of matches the watch, right? So what do you think watches say about someone's identity?
Yeah, I mean, I think it says a lot about it, right? And
Yeah.
it's like that's the one drawback of a brand like Rolex right now is it can say one of two things, right? Like it either says you're not a watch guy and you bought into just the hype, or it says you are a watch guy and you actually know what's on your wrist, and you don't know until you go up to. I was in the Destin airport and a guy was wearing the solid gold bluesy, and I was wearing
Nice.
this, and I was wearing mine. And I walked up to him. I said, "Hey, that's a great Submariner." He goes, "No, it's a Rolex."
Guys, if you saw how far back I rolled my fucking eyes.
Ugh.
Yo, it's all white right now, still, dude.
And I'm just standing there like, okay, what do I do now? And it's always awkward to even say that nice watch to somebody, right?
I'm gonna
Like
say that shit when someone says, "Hey, nice Pepsi." It's a Rolex.
it's a Rolex.
We should do that at wind up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, nice watch. I was like, it's a Rolex.
And I said to the guy, I said, yeah, it says Submariner right there. And I have one on too.
And he was like, "Cool."
No, actually, he ended up he was like, I'm sorry, I'm not a watch guy. I just thought it looked
I
really
just play
cool.
one on TV.
So what it is people who were into watches pre-2017 and after 2018.
Yes.
Because most people who have Rolexes that are aware of what they have got it before 2018.
Yeah, because you couldn't get them anymore.
And that's when we were able to go into Ben Bridge, look at Batman's, get a fucking discount, walk
Yeah.
out the same day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what I think though is, and also I think they've just done a phenomenal job marketing to the people that aren't watch people, which is a much bigger market, and saying this is the pinnacle. Like if you've made it,
Top of the
you
top.
got to have this. And that's why he had that watch. And I don't blame him for that. But
I mean, yeah, it's a status
totally
piece,
cool.
right?
Yeah, totally. And so, but I love like I think the Santos says a totally different thing, right? Like it's kind of a if you know you know
If you know, you
watch,
know. Yeah.
right? And so I think there's all sorts of them. That's why I'm not a one brand guy. Like
Yeah,
I've got
you
tons
have
of brands.
so many brands.
Yeah, I'm not a one brand guy. My dad and I collect together, and he was a purist Tag Heuer guy for a long
wow.
time. And so he's got a lot of really cool stuff, and he's got like the Tourbillon. and all sorts-
Monza.
No, he doesn't have a Monza.
What?
He's not a vintage guy.
Oh.
So he's more of the my
modern?
version of modern.
Carrera
um,
GPs are.
Yeah, he's got the 160th anniversary Carrera. He's got
Oh,
the very first. He's got the
nice.
one of like the first
Yeah.
one off the line and stuff like that. So he's got really cool stuff. But he wasn't into other brands. Now he's getting into other brands, and I just taught him what IWC is for his 75th birthday.
It's a Nazi brand.
yeah.
It's family friendly.
You're gonna go
What
over
did
with
that
that.
guy? What did Christian say? Something Nazis,
So,
Nazis,
yeah.
Nazis.
That's what JLC though, right?
That was the. Well, I think he was just talking about German watches in general, but yeah, the JLC did have that. Hitler
Christians are on, dude. So, if you saw someone wearing a Seiko, right? What would you think of them? Just off the rip, right? Like,
To
you
me,
see someone wear like
so I almost think Seiko's another one that has two options.
a
Either they love the design of watches, but they're wanting to play in the lower price points. Because I think Seiko has just such a huge variety of options for people, and they do a great job for their price point.
How about Grand Seiko?
I'm not a Grand Seiko guy.
Yeah, because why the fuck would you pay over $1,000 for a Seiko? I have.
I thought
one.
you were a
I
Grand
do.
Seiko
I am.
guy.
I am.
You
I
like
am
them.
too.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one here that's not a Grand Seiko
We
guy.
love making
We
fun
love-
of shit.
yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
that's like, it's like, I remember when I was like wearing just the original Grand Seiko that I had. It was like an OG dial Grand Seiko, so it had Seiko at the top.
Yeah.
And I remember like people would like see like, oh, that's a 6 Seiko, and I would be like, son of.
This is going back.
I just lost
only
about
you
$3
knew-
grand of value
Yeah,
right there.
if only you knew that this was $3,000.
Yeah.
The Saratsu polishing, I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
And now when you like, it's goofy,
Yeah.
you know.
Hey,
I'm just not. They just don't speak to me. Like I respect them a lot. I just don't. They don't. Nothing hasn't called out to me yet.
How about Seiko?
I also I've never
Never.
owned a Seiko.
Oh, really?
Nope.
With
Never.
your vast collection, I would have thought you would have had
No,
one.
or in that kind of range, it was. I had like I said, a few Bulivas, a Citizen Skyhawk, I think it was called.
Yeah,
Or
that's
one
a
of those
badass
like
watch.
it was all titanium, and it was like it was one of those what's that they use for with the solar power? What do they call it? I forget. They have their own.
I know
like,
what you're
name
talking about.
for it.
There's a specific.
It was
name
pretty
for
cool.
Yeah.
Again, early stage collecting, but then I kind of went into the the next
Straight
layer.
into the higher. End.
Yeah, I kind of was like, yeah, let's go
Which is-
straight to $4,000.
Yeah. Do you ever is there any watch that you see on anyone that just turns you off from them and you're like, that guy's a
No.
Oh, don't
that
shame
guy's
you blow
an
like that.
actual piece of shit. Just
Yeah.
a garbage truck on fire.
I think it would be the new OP that Rolex just launched with
the celebration.
With the
bubbles,
bubble gum.
the bubbles or the emoji day date.
Oh, I hate that
Oh,
emoji
dude.
day date.
Yeah.
I don't
That's the
like that.
Autism Speaks one.
Yeah, that's autism speaks.
Yeah.
one.
Although it's not, but it's not about.
It's not. It's not about that. But
right.
they use the same like puzzle.
I think you and I talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They use the same fucking puzzle.
Because you got me when you said it was about that. I was like, oh man, now I'm an asshole.
yeah.
and then you're like, no, it's not actually about that. I'm like, okay, no, it's still a shitty watch then.
Yeah. Because dude, like, I don't know, like to
So
me
like
it's
super
lost.
hype pieces then.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I don't know if I'm trying to think. After the show, I'll figure out one that really
Yeah,
speaks
it'll
to
just
me.
click,
It'll
right?
click, yeah. But I don't really. It doesn't really do it for me. The one, and it's not that they is douchebags, but I just don't get the concept of wanting a vintage watch. It just is a lot. It's totally lost on me. Like you want a watch that's beat to crap.
Listeners
doesn't
over
make
here are
sense.
seething, dude.
Oh, they hate me. I know. I get it. And I also understand. Like I'm in the minority, and there's a couple of guys I know. In Atlanta, they've got a great group that I've become a virtual
Is it
member.
what's his name?
Giancarlo?
Giancarlo, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Giancarlo's group.
His group, and
Atlanta Watch Society.
yeah, they're awesome.
Great
And,
people.
Yeah, I'm on their WhatsApp, and there's a gentleman in there that has a vintage
Is
business.
it Max?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Max Braun.
Yeah.
We had like, were you there? So Max was actually here
Last week.
last
right?
week.
Yeah.
and so we hung
did y'all
out.
have dinner with him?
Yeah.
Oh,
so we
I was
grabbed,
supposed to be. I was
we
supposed to
grabbed
come.
the
Yeah.
beers and shit, and like
He's great.
he was he comes to Austin often, and he actually wants to get on the show. And
Oh.
so
Well, there's a waiting line.
Yeah.
All right?
Now that I've come, Max, you're
sorry,
welcome.
but yeah,
and he's great. And he and I have had a bunch of messages on WhatsApp or DM, and he'll show me a watch, and I'm like, it's great. It's got a whole bunch of banged up. Can't wait to spend $12,000 for that. And we laugh about it. And I have total respect for anyone who's into him. I know I'm the minority that doesn't like him. But
Yeah.
I want when I get it. For me, most of mine still look like they're in great shape. My Santos I've had for a year has one scratch on it. And I just that's how I want them to look.
My watches are fucking scratched the shit up. Like actually, if you,
But it's not because I don't wear them. Like I don't have a safe that they're just.
how do
stuck in.
you not
Just careful.
scratch them?
I just don't like whack it against the
He's
doorway.
not like you. This guy scuffed up his Starbucks within like 5 hours of owning one, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Dude, I walked out of the boutique with it on.
And you slammed it on a DDR machine or something.
Fuck you, no, I didn't.
I thought that's what it was.
But the whole thing with like the whole vintage thing, it's true, right? So before the show, actually, before we started recording, we were talking about it. And to me, I am someone who was super big into vintage, 1675, 1680, like all like the good vintage references, even like Omega Connies. Like I was a big fan of them, like the OG pipe hands. But it's difficult when you live a lifestyle that kind of dictates you working out, getting into the water, going to like a sauna or something, and actually using your watch.
The practicality
The practicality of it isn't there if you're wearing vintage. Because sure, you could get it serviced, but why risk it, right?
Yeah.
When your watch is as old as your grandpa.
And there's a lot of pitfalls too. If you buy something, you don't know how authentic it is.
Well,
right?
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's what I will say for the vintage people is I do think it's like next level collecting, because if you know what you have to really know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I get to be lazy and just go to an AD, and then they give me something that I have like 99.9% likelihood it's real, and I don't have to ask any questions. So there's a part of it like vintage collecting is next level. I do believe that. There is one vintage watch I will have at some point.
What is it?
Not a specific watch yet. I don't know what it is. I'd love.
I see.
DM me anyone who has ideas, but a birthday watch. I love the concept of birth year
I love
watches.
birth year watches.
Love it, and I don't have one from 1981. But 1981 was a shitty year for watches.
For watches, you have the
It's all like
16,800.
oyster quartzes and shit like that.
The 16800 was around that time. The first Rolex that had a sapphire crystal.
Well, the other one that someone told me was the Sea Dweller from back then was a 40 millimeter.
Correct.
So that's kind of interesting. But then I think it looks a lot like the modern sub. So.
It does. It does. Like the birth year watch.
I
I
love
don't even
birth year
have
watches.
one.
I don't even. You
I
don't
bought-
even remember when you were born though.
But
Yeah.
but a birth year watch for you wouldn't be vintage.
It would not be. It would be neo vintage.
I thought a birth year watch is
I'm in vintage at
or
this
a
point,
vintage
right?
is
80s? I don't
20
know.
years plus.
Think
Isn't that
so.
what?
Is
Isn't that the
vintage
definition?
20?
I think it's
If
20
so,
years.
that's then mine
Okay,
would
so
be
anything.
vintage.
So you'd
Nice
be
turn of the
vintage.
century.
Man, I
Yeah.
bought my son his birth year watch before fucking I got mine.
Wait, what?
It's a Sea Dwellers 08.
Oh,
It's a Z series.
Freshman in high school.
damn! You treated him well, huh?
Fuck no. What? It depends if he's worthy of it, right? If he's
So
like
does he have it already? Oh, okay.
Oh, what he's been wearing
I like
though.
that. So you got it ready for
Ready,
him. I
yeah.
love that. Yeah.
And what he has been wearing though, he is getting into watches actually because he loves the Monaco
Nice.
and he loves it because of Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Because
yeah, it's a big watch. In
yeah,
Breaking
it's a
Bad.
big watch. in
He's
Breaking
like,
Bad.
I've never heard of Le Mans, but it's from Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah. And so what he wears now
Steve
is
McQueen who?
actually a Zodiac. It's a Zodiac GMT that he's been wearing because
Man.
it feels like he fucking goes to California all.
That's awesome.
So Jeff, being a collector that you are, there's so much happening today. You know, with micro brands and independence and all of that. What do you see is most exciting for you right now in the space? Like, what's developing? What's something new that you find most interesting?
I think I don't know if I would call it in the micro brand space, but
Or
there's
anything
Yeah,
in
there's a
watches.
group of brands that I feel like are a little underneath the big brands everybody's thinking about, but they're really coming on hot, like a Norcane or a Parmigiani. They're not even in the same. They're not all in the same grouping as each other, but I feel like we have. I mean, look at what. In my opinion, I'm not a horological historian or anything like that, but like to see where Panerai is at now versus where they were before Sylvester Stallone tried one on. And I feel like, I think we talk about Dran Seiko's dial making and finishing. Parmigiani to me is like next level. Like it's unreal what they're doing. Like, do you see their GMT where the third hand hides? That is so cool. It's cool. And Chopek doing similar things. And so I feel like those brands are starting to really come in at it used to be, you can't even think about trying to get an AP or a Patek or, forget
VC.
Richard Mille, VC. But these brands are kind of coming in. Moser another one that's kind of.
I was gonna say, so
Get,
it's been like Moser.
yeah, that's the range.
Sizapek.
Yeah.
Sizapek.
Is it? I don't need. No, I've been heard Chopek.
You
got it.
Chopek
I
is the
just
right
I just
way.
call it Sizapek.
Yeah. Well, you also say bevulgary, don't you?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard you say
bevulgary.
that before.
Sizapek.
To me, I think like if I go to the next scale of orology, I think that's the range I really think Parmigiani is one of the next ones. I'm also a huge Lange fan. Like, fuck, it's the fourth of the Trinity to me. Like, I think it's not a Trinity.
It's their
quartet.
dad.
Yeah, I think it's awesome stuff.
Dad,
The site work is such a cool piece.
The side work is one of my favorite. It was my all time. Like I was like, oh, I'll buy that eventually. Yeah.
And you haven't yet.
No. The side work striking time.
It's hard now though because so a few years ago I went to a AD in Arizona where I go a lot because my family there, and they had one, and so I have pictures of wearing one, and now they're not an AD anymore, but now it's one of those like you have which three other ones are you going to buy before you buy the site work? So it's just getting tough.
Yeah, that's just how it is. That's part of the game.
Yeah, can't blame them. It's a business. It is the game. Yeah.
So you know what? Let's talk a little bit about Jeff.
Jeff.
The
Is
guy
it
nobody
Jeffrey?
on Instagram knows.
Let's
Is
talk
it spelled JEFF or GEOFF?
You've been hanging out with Mike from Zodiac. Too, if you think it's a G.
Is it Joffrey?
I'm from America. No, yeah, it's with a J.
J. See? The American way.
Yeah.
Hey,
American.
so
When I first saw that name spelled
GEOFF.
GEOF, I called him Geoff. I was like, yo, Geoff, what's up,
Joffrey.
dude? Joffrey.
Joffrey. So let's ask you. So if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
You know, it's funny. I actually had this conversation last night with my 8-year-old. So you guys,
On the ball.
not that hard when you
Yeah,
just
we're-
had to talk through this with your
We're
8-year-old.
smart.
We got SMRT.
Yeah, because she was watching Super Pets and needed to tell me about every
It's
single
a great
Super Pet.
movie, by the way. It has Kevin Hart
Well,
And The
come
Rock.
on.
and The Rock. Yeah.
Probably the only celebrity I follow is The Rock. Love that guy.
Yeah.
I think the it's either telekinesis, right? So you can like read people's brains and move shit, or flying.
Ooh, flying would be
Who doesn't
tight.
want to fly?
How about you, Jay?
You first.
Mine would be falling downstairs without getting hurt.
That's a superpower
Yeah.
to you.
So I could just
you,
like
you have a single story house, don't you?
yeah, but I can go to any stairwell in the country. Like, yo, guys, check this
Watch
out.
this.
Boom, 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 and just make a ton
Hold
of
my
people
beer.
laugh. Yeah, that'd
That's
be mine.
it. That's really low. I feel. That's
I have low
one.
expectations
That's
of
it.
life.
That's it. Just one.
Yeah.
So I would want the superpower to fill a space up with something. If I point,
Ooh.
like, let's say I point, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if I point at you right now, I could fill your bladder
That's-
with water.
You would kill someone.
Yeah. Or I could point at that closet. $1 gajillion.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, there you can fill it up with anything.
Yeah. So, boom.
Ah, so that's the part that's
That's-
different. Fill up a bank account.
yeah.
There you go.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And
Fill
you
up
know
a
what?
Rolex AD. They'll
There's-
still tell you
there's that-
everything's sold out.
There's that.
It's all
there-
exhibition only though.
Yeah.
No movement. There's that guy at Moda that had like all those tutors.
Oh yeah. Jesus Christ.
Probably had that power.
This dude we saw on this Facebook selling group had like 7 FXDs. And we're like, what the fuck? And he was trying to, I think he just bought a ton of them thinking they were going to be a lot. And
He's
just
trying to
got-
get his money back.
Yeah.
trying to get
Eat
his money.
shit.
That's when you lowball. That's when you lowball.
So, what's the most fascinating or surprising thing that you've discovered about the hobby that most people might not know?
Honestly, like probably the biggest thing that when you say most people, my mind goes to non-watch collectors who are thinking about watches, is that Rolex is not the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Right? If you think about your average person that's just starting to even think about a watch, they just think Rolex is it. And then, I had no idea about AP, we talked about the Trinity or Lange or some of these other brands. So I think that would be one of them.
How about for people who are in the hobby
Who are
or
in
like
the
who are
hobby?
who are getting started, and no, they know that like AP, VC.
You know what the thing that took me a while to figure out was like that there's this thing called wrist size, and not every watch fits every wrist. That's right. It took me forever to figure that out. And I have definitely bought watches that I'm like, now that I figured that out, I don't know if I really love this watch on me or something like that. It's a thing that watch people don't, it takes a while to figure that out.
Me with a fucking Panerai.
Jesus.
Did you see the new
Christ.
40?
Yeah, the 40 submersibles.
No, the 40 Luminor. Because the submersible's tall as well.
So is
They
the
just came out with a 40 Luminor with a quick detach on the
is it
straps and bracelet.
waterproof though? Because
Oh, I think
Yeah.
so, but I'm not
because
sure.
they made those smaller ones that you
The Duet.
it's like 5 ATM, dude.
I
You
saw
can't
those
swim with
photos.
it.
Yeah, no, this isn't the Duet though. This is the full Luminor. but
Okay,
in a
so it
40
probably
millimeter. Just
is
started
then.
coming out. Yeah,
I'll check it out.
check it out.
I
There's a
love
blue
Panerai.
and a black, I think.
I love Panerai.
Panerai, you either love them or you hate them. I think.
I mean, it's because like
I love them too, by the way.
I feel that they do a lot of misrepresentation of their own brand. Like they always are like a target by Periscope, and like Periscope is like one of my favorites.
They nailed them because they were posting fakes of Panerais on
yeah,
their own
they post
channel.
fake
They didn't
Panerais
know.
on their own Instagram account.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, they
And
just
so-
were kind of clueless.
They
They're
just
like,
didn't
"Oh,
know it was a fake.
I
It's
mean,
just
it makes sense because they probably just hired like an intern,
Yeah,
getting paid like
or like some marketing
Peanuts.
person that had no
that,
idea.
That company's blown up fast too,
absolutely.
right? So you got to imagine quality.
growth is like
Yeah, they're growing so fast that the not quality control of the product, but of the rest of their business, they're just hiring people like crazy.
that's
I
right.
think.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. But
Yeah.
that's a good one actually.
Yeah, wrist size also. So I think there's this like journey on wrist size, right? Like you start out, you have no freaking clue that you have to pay attention to it. Then you kind of get overly aware of it. Now you're like hypercritical of wrist size. And then you get to that I don't give a fuck stage. And you're like, I'm going to get an IWC. And I don't give a shit because that big pilot crown is awesome. And I want that.
middle phase is when people post
It's
on
the
like
worst stage to
Reddit
be in.
and you get freaking roasted on Reddit. Be like, is it too big for me? Is it?
Stop talking about Winston like that.
Oh, shit.
I got on Reddit
No, he's not
for
there
about like
anymore.
3 months. And I was like, this is the nastiest group of people I've ever met. in my
It's a
life.
sludge fest, dude.
I am not
It's a
posting
cesspool.
ever again. It's
Yeah.
awful.
I used to post on Reddit actually quite often. Back in the good times of like the hobby.
Yeah.
So like 2017,
Yeah.
2018. Like I was super active on Reddit. I actually met a lot of the guys that I know now in Austin off of Reddit. And now it's like you look at it, it's just so
Just mean
different.
people.
They're just fucking assholes for no reason.
Keyboard warriors.
That's what happens when they're losers. So go ahead, Bren. Ask him the next question.
What's the most ridiculous thing you've ever done to impress someone? Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
And what watch were you wearing when that happened?
It might even be pre-watch collecting.
Oh,
I might
nice.
have been
Hear
wearing
it.
a fossil or something.
Let's
like
go.
that.
Let's hear it.
Let's
That's
go.
even better.
Oh man,
Let's get the
Most
cringe.
Incredible thing. Good friends of mine when I was in my 20s hosted my birthday at their house every year, and they have amazing pool. And my buddy's girlfriend was much younger than the rest of us, and she came up to me when I walked in for like, I don't know, like 27th birthday or something like that, and said, you know, this is what you get when your 30-year-old buddy dates a 21-year-old, and she starts wrapping 40s on both my hands for Edward 40 hands and with duct tape. And I didn't really know what was going on. Anyway, that has nothing to do with, there's nothing that I did there to impress, but fast forward later in the night. So I'm dating my now wife and I am obliterated, but I think she's now getting mad at me. And there's a point in the night where I'm like now getting kind of like sad drunk. And I'm just saying like, I just want you to be impressed with me. So super sad, super lame. And so my whole family knows this story. Her brothers and sisters. And anytime I'm around them and I'm starting to act stupid, they're just like, I just want you to be impressed with
Oh
me.
my
Yeah, I
god,
love it.
that's
I
so
love
good.
Yeah.
That's actually.
I didn't
really
actually
good.
do anything to make her impressed. I did something to make her like probably not want to be around me. But
Hey, married though, so it must have
yeah,
worked.
it must have worked, dude. It worked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use
Yeah.
that line.
Yeah, hit it when we're
no pickups needed. Just
Yeah.
no pickup lines.
Just beg,
Yeah. Plead.
plead. So, I mean, any other questions you got over there on that?
This is the last one.
That's okay.
Here's the last one, and it's more on the watches again. So, what advice would you give to someone who's interested in getting started with the hobby of watches?
Oh man. Well, like we all know you're going to buy some watches that you don't end up loving, right? Like so, but I think the biggest thing I would say, and I think it's pretty typical of what you hear when people ask this question, if anyone I think that's really cares about this hobby, is just buy what you love. Like, don't fall into the hype trap. Don't fall into, what's this gonna say about me? Try not to do that, because it's gonna say whatever the other person wants it to say. They're gonna make their opinion of you. If they're judging you by your watch, they're clearly not. They're judging a book by the cover, and it's never right. So just freaking buy what you like, wear what you like,
But not vintage.
but definitely not
Nice.
old beat up stuff that other
Hey.
people wore out.
For all you vintage lovers, we're gonna post
Here's his
Jeff's
address.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give you guys. It's Modern Watch Guy ATX on Instagram. If you love vintage watches, this is the guy.
If you love vintage watches, just come to that part where I said it takes a higher level of collecting to be a vintage watch collector. At like minute 18, that's the best part for you.
All right, so that's pretty much it. Let's close with this little song and ditty for today's sponsor.
Shit, I
I'll
don't.
start it off with you, dude.
Okay.
Whopper, 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 Whopper.
Junior double triple Whopper.
Flame grilled taste with perfect toppers.
I rule this day.
Lettuce, mayo, pickle, ketchup.
It's okay if I don't want that.
Impossible Bow Wow Bacon Whopper.
Any Whopper my way.
You rule. You're seasoned today.
At BK, have it your way.
There we go.
I've never even heard that song.
Jesus, it works though. Hey, thanks for listening, guys, and thanks again, Jeff, for honestly
thanks for having
Modern
me.
ATX Watch Guy, great guy. And if you have any questions about vintage, hit him up.
Yeah, DM me for any vintage watch questions.
See you later.
Later.